This is InCamp Field Notes, quick conversations and the cliff notes, thoughts, and lessons that don't always make it to the big stories, but shape the way we hunt and see the outdoors. This is InCamp
Podcast. Welcome back to the InCamp Podcast. This is InCamp Field Notes, Christmas edition, and I'm here with a special guest, my wife, Elizabeth Hepler. Welcome to the podcast, honey.
Thank you for finally having me on.
I've tried to talk her into this at least 40 times, and I really had to talk her into it tonight. But we are here, we're recording, and we're down here wrapping presents with our little Brittany, who's finally asleep on the couch and not ripping things apart.
Don't jinx it.
So what I really want to talk to you about is we're gonna do some Christmas talk here, but we're gonna talk about a little bit about marriage and hunting and what it means to be a hunting widow and what it means to be a hunting wife and what it means to be supportive and maybe some things that I could do better. So why don't you tell the listeners what it was like when we first got married?
Well, I always say that it was false advertising because when we were first married, I believe the year that we were engaged, you went fishing maybe once. Hunting, I don't recall you ever going. Could have been because I was distracted having a wedding to plan. Our second year married, I remember you would just go out on opening day rifle. And no joke, by I'd say 7:20, you would send me the text that would say BBD. I had no idea what that meant. And you had to later educate me that it meant big buck down. But either way, you had filled your tag and you were on your way home. So I was like, oh, this is no big deal. I got this. I don't think it was until our third year of marriage, we had our daughter in January, and previous to having our daughter, our friend Peter was leaving to be a missionary, and you used him conveniently as an excuse.
Thanks, Peter.
To tell me that this may be Peter's last hunt, so I absolutely have to take him duck hunting. So I remember countless weekends of you and your friends building blinds in our kitchen at a PVC.
We did do that.
Yes.
I remember that.
Several trips to Lowe's.
Joey, those are good memories.
Yes, they are. I think convenient for you, you married someone who did not grow up in a hunting family. So you could have told me anything, and I was like, oh, well, this is what you do. So, okay. But yeah, it was a lot.
I know it seemed like I only went hunting once and fishing once, but really I probably just told you I was busy those days.
Very nice.
I did go duck hunting though that year 32 times or 32 days.
When Avonlea was born. Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. And mostly because it was like, it wasn't like 32 days spread out over a couple months. It was like 32 days in a row.
No.
Pretty much. Any day I wasn't working.
I think we were both under the false assumption that once you have a child, your life as you know it changes dramatically. Anything that you love doing has to go away. And while that's true for a very short season, we were fortunate enough to get back on our feet quickly. And
I think that you do a really good job of balancing your time for doing things for yourself and doing things for our family and for me and for Avonlea. You love to run. You love to be healthy, and you're into like organic foods and making sure that you're taking care of the things that you're in your nutrition and your health. And I think that's really admirable. And I think, we've been talking about like hunting kind of being a solo sport. And you've reminded me that sometimes it's necessary to do the recharge of the batteries kind of thing, like you're just talking about now. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, honestly, it was my dad who I never liked running at all. Hated
Mhm.
it. But in order to make varsity field hockey, and if Aaron hasn't ever told you, I'm a smidge competitive.
Just as
I had
we
to
can look at the camera because it's kind of weird that we
I know.
don't. You know.
I had to run 2 miles in a certain amount of time. I don't recall the time exactly, but it was way faster than I absolutely could. And so my dad, who had trained for several marathons, was an avid runner. I was like, Dad, I need your help. And his exact words to me, which to this day I have not forgotten, is, Lizzie, I love my time running because it's my time that God and I work out the world's problems. And it's been so true. If like I'm having a terrible day at work, um, Avonlee's having a rough day, whatever the case may be, I go for a run, I come home, and all of a sudden the problem that seemed like it was insurmountable now isn't that big of a deal. And I recognize those same things in you, is that um, if work stress has you over the top, if you start doubting yourself as a hunter, as a podcaster, anything, you go out for a hunt and you sit in the woods. And I think you do take the time to talk to God, and you realize that your issues aren't so big and things seem a lot more manageable.
Yeah, I think there's things that we could all do better. Like we could um, be more conscious of the time that we have in the evenings together after work, or um, there's times where maybe we do get into a little bit of a tiff, and you say like, "I just need you to be present. It doesn't matter how much time." And I hope that I've tried to do that over the last couple of years, is like taking the time to actually like stop thinking about the wind and thermals. It's like, yeah, I mean, if there is a woman who knows anything about wind and thermals and you need some mathematics figured out, uh, her Instagram handle is Hepler.
Let's not get that
Actually, I
cocky.
don't remember the last numbers of it. What are the numbers on it?
I'm going to keep it private for
I'm
now.
going to share her Instagram on. But the thing about being a hunter is I need support from somebody like you, and you've been really amazing at supporting me through all this. Whether it's, I worked 7 days in October, and I think I hunted 25 of them.
What was that?
So I need your support to be able to do that kind of thing, and to keep, I do like somewhere between 2 and 5 podcasts a week, and you're like, go do it, get it done.
Mhm.
And I want that to be reciprocated in the things that you get to do too, not so we can make it fair, but when we sit down on the couch together, we are recharged and we're ready to take care of our kiddo and take care of our home. We've had so many changes in the last year. Like you started a new job as administration in school from nursing,
Mm.
and one thing that I do think is that fits into our life so well is we both love to cook. We love to have fun meals, and wild game is something that we both enjoy doing together.
Mhm.
And it really fits our lifestyle of like being as healthy as we can. And when we run out of it, we really get sad, don't we?
Not just we. There's a little person in bed right now. Let's pray it stays that way. But she gets very angry with you when there's no more deer steak left.
Yeah. So some of the things that we went through this year, you know, actually, I guess it's almost 2 years ago, but we had the reason we met, I had a lab, and the reason that Lizzie and I met was because I had this lab, and she had a puppy too in the same apartment complex, and we both played with these puppies out back, and that's kind of how we met. And when our lab died, she was 14, and one of the things that I'm really passionate about is hunting birds. And I mean, I don't think there's anything that I don't like to hunt or fish, but
Have you looked around the room?
but the thing of it is we had this lab, and we both were kind of like so overwhelmed with life and like just the things that were changing. And um she was getting old and having a hard time getting off the bed, and we decided to do like hospice type care for Emma.
Mm.
And we have a very good friend that is a vet, and she talked to us about our issues with Emma, and we decided that like hospice type care was the right thing to do, and that we would think of a date. And and I guess we're talking about this online. We haven't never actually told our child this,
It's all right.
but she won't listen to it. So if you are a parent listening to this, please keep it a secret, please. We decided to put Emma to sleep in our home, and it was one real big struggle that we went through. And we were like, we're not going to get a dog for years, and we're going to take a long break because we just need it. And then it's funny because in those moments, God uses things like that to just be like, nope,
Yeah.
you're a family who needs life in your house. You're a family that needs, I mean, everything that we do is like, we go on family vacations to the beach and that kind of thing, but everything that we do is just so much better when it's outside, and we're doing things like, we love to go camping together. We've done camping trips together. We love campfires. We love going on the boat on the lake. And when we didn't have those dog nails clicking around on the floor anymore, it was like, we need to do that.
Yeah.
So now we're like bird dog people, and we have a little mini doodle, and we have a Brittany, and we're hoping to get a third one this spring. What are you hoping for?
I don't know. I trust your judgment because Emma was a rock star, hands down. Aaron trained her amazing. Rue, I would have been knocked over dead if you would have told me a French Brittany is the next breed I need. Now I can't imagine my life without my little snuggle buddy.
Yeah.
You're the best dad in the world for, I don't think it was even 2 weeks after Emma had passed, and our little girl had convinced her daddy that a mini golden doodle was the absolute addition that our family needed. But I think the really incredible thing about Aaron is that whether it's hunting or his nursing career, he thrives on making adjustments on the fly, being used to the crazy. You show up on public land, there's 14 guys in your spot, you got to adjust. He does it on the fly. It's no big deal. So he was like, 2 dogs, no big deal. I got this. So
yeah, we got some flack for that, like because we got 2 puppies at once. And
I know.
people were like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And
I know.
quite honestly, I don't think it could have gone better. They're good dogs.
We were very lucky. I don't know that I want to do it again, but we were really lucky.
So I love telling stories on this podcast. So why don't you tell them about the story about there's so many that I can think of, but why don't you tell them about the story about the first buck that I shot with you?
From your Lord have mercy. So the first buck Aaron and I shot, well, Aaron shot, but I was there with him. The day before, I had decided...
She was hunting too. No,
I wasn't.
That was the year you just wanted to go and observe.
Yeah. Because I was like, I don't know if I know what all this is about, but like...
She did go hunting after that.
I did.
I didn't ruin it completely.
The day before, I stupidly had decided to run a 10-mile race with one of my nursing school classmates. And so I was so sore, so tired because I was terribly out of shape. I woke up that morning crying. Aaron literally had to dress me for myself because I couldn't even bring myself to put on all the layers. I knew how cold it was. We climbed the tree stand. One of my secret talents that I like to brag on is the fact that I can fall asleep anywhere. Doesn't matter. So Aaron tied me as tight as he could to the tree because he was guaranteed that I was falling asleep. He saw a deer. It was early, I'd say like 7-ish.
It was 8.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was 8-ish. So he saw the deer. I got my binoculars up. He's like, Lizzie, you see that deer over there? And I was like, yeah, Aaron, I see it. All of a sudden, there's the loudest bang over the top of my head. And I realized that my husband, my beloved husband, had just shot a gun. Like, he might as well have I might as well have been a shooting stick. He just rested it on my head, shot. I watched the shoulder go. And I was like, okay, we did it. And he was like, we got to get down. We got to get down. And I was like, Aaron, you tied me so tight, I can't reach around to get myself down. So you finally got me down. But I think the kicker of this story, at least what I took away, is then like, I helped you gut the deer.
Yeah.
Which I need credit for.
She did.
No gloves. Gutted the deer.
We didn't use gloves back then.
Yeah. And then we get back to the house and we're all eating soup together and your brother's in there and we're all just like talking casually. And your brother's like, yeah, I almost saw a deer. I almost had a shot at a deer, but I was too busy reading my book. And I was like, what? I was like, play that back again, Ben. What was that? And he was like, I was reading my book. And I was like, Aaron, do you not realize that I would sit for hours if you let me read a book quietly? But I was not allowed to read. I was not allowed to talk.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Richard and I have this in common. If there's too much like crinkling or noise made in the stand, that we get a little frustrated. So, thanks, Richard.
I'm gonna talk to you later, Richard.
But we've had so much fun with all the different things. Like we've gone turkey hunting together when we, remember there's a couple of days we drop her off in daycare with the shotgun in the back and be like, all right, we're going turkey hunting right after this. And like
words I never thought I'd have to hear the father of my daughter say that, like, oh, we can pick her up from school. Let me just make sure I don't have any guns in the back.
But we've done like gone on all day long hikes while she's in school.
Oh yeah.
Or like whatever it happens to be, and just had so much fun together. And then we kind of lived in like a suburban type community and moved pretty far away from that.
Yeah. I mean, it was convenient for work and now we're further, but we're so much happier.
Yeah. And just like anything we can do outside is just something that refreshes us and recharges us. And we've been blessed. And this is the time for our family to bless your family and let you know that there's a God that loves you. And this is the season that he came to save you. And we're so blessed by all of that. And maybe this sounds churchy, I guess. I don't know. But it's so important to me to remember you get to this time of season and like spending time with family and all those things. We wouldn't do it without a creator. And I mentioned to you the other day that I had somebody on the podcast that reminded me that we go out in creation and everything's so beautiful and we don't worship the creation, but we are there to worship God and see what he's made. And everything that he's done has led to a moment that happens today when this podcast drops on Christmas Day. So thanks for coming on, honey.
Of course, anytime.
I love you.
I love you too.
So from InCamp Podcasts and from the Hepler household, Merry Christmas.